Hello, welcome back to the ministry. This is Dr. Cameron, and the Lord brought me a revelation when I was walking yesterday to go take care of some things. And it was in relation to the counterfeits. I'm like, now y'all know, I don't like talking about them. But you know something funny? My entire feed today was talking about counterfeits. I was like, what the heck is going on today? What's up in the spirit? I saw like 3 videos back to back. One on top of the other, on top of the other. I'm like, what in the world's going on with these counterfeits? Anyway, but I came to the realization about something very specific in relation to us and our situations in the counterfeit. One, I'm going to need you to really take a moment to see if there is anything that is an alt within your heart in relation to these counterfeits, because God does not desire to see any particular individual perish, okay? I know these people have been bringing witchcraft against you. They've been doing all kinds of confusion, and you just sick and tired of being sick and tired of it. I get it. But the Lord brought me to this revelation when I was walking yesterday, and I was like, God, that's deep. And the revelation is this, that have you ever noticed, I'm talking to my prayer warriors, raise your hand. If you ever start praying for somebody, and I'm talking about somebody that you love and care about that really has not come to God, ever notice when you start praying for them, they start lashing out, whether it is towards you or they just start acting a purity fool when you start praying for them? They don't even know you praying for them. You didn't say nothing about praying for them. But when it's like your spirit irks their nerves, right? So I need you to think for a minute. And I'm talking about y'all that actually pray for the counterfeit. Because I do that. And I've told you guys this. If y'all was praying for the counterfeit, I need you to think about this. Because even 4 years ago, maybe, between 3 and 4 years ago, I started praying for the counterfeit. Because just same as I prayed for my spouse, I prayed that they would find their ordained mate too. I found myself sitting the other day saying, why? If this person took as much energy as they take to pray against our relationship and to use that same energy, come to God and fight like we fight in the spirit, because they fighting us to the same level that we fighting them with God. We fighting with God. They fighting with some demons and witchcrafts and voodoo and hoodoo and all them type of stuff. If they took that same energy, don't lose that energy, and fought with God, not fought against God, fought with him, they would actually end up finding, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, they'd find the person that was supposed to be with him, and they'd probably be 10 times better than the one that they're trying to hold on to that belongs to us. And they don't realize that, but they don't want to go through the process. Though they're going through the beating with God because they're coming against us. You see that? If they took the same energy, not lose that energy, but walked with the Lord with that energy, they don't know what man that the Lord would have said, oh, you was fighting for him, but I had him waiting for you. And he's over there wondering where you at, because you over here fighting for this man that isn't yours. And that man would probably be a man over there in Dubai somewhere with like gazillions of dollars. But you chasing this one. This one might have millions, but that one's got gazillions. And you're sitting up there chasing this one because you mad because they belong to this particular person. You understand what I'm saying? But that wasn't my whole point. My point was that if you ever prayed for a family member if you've ever prayed for a friend of yours, if you've ever interceded because you saw their problems, their issues, their all of this kind of stuff, what normally happened? Didn't they buck up against you 9 times out of 10? You get into the atmosphere with that person, they start acting all kinds of crazy. So I need you to think for a moment. Why did you figure when you started praying for this man and he started to come into ordinance with God, and especially if you also started praying for the counterfeit because you were praying for their heart, their soul, their renouncing, their denouncing, all of this, how'd you figure that they weren't going to start bucking up too? That they actually were going to start getting more angry at you because you're praying for them. Because the demon that is in them recognizes that you are praying for them. So that demon even more becomes envious and jealous of you because you're trying to separate them from his demonic stronghold around them. You're trying to divide them from whatever demons that they dealing with too, because you're praying for them too. Not only are you praying to, one, separate them from the person that belongs to you, which means the enemy is losing 2 people. Think about that. He would be losing 2 people if the counterfeit and your man actually turned to God. But the fact that your man did turn to God, you trying to also pray for the counterfeit? You thought that counterfeit wasn't going to buck up against you. Half of your warfare is because you probably been praying for them. Praying for them to stop. Praying for them. Praying for their heart posture. Praying for their hearts to turn. Praying for them to stop coming against you. Praying for all of this kind of stuff. And because you were praying about that stuff, you thought that the demons that was in them wasn't going to come up against you. Isn't that what happens when you pray for family members? Or is it just me? Is it only my family members that come against me when I'm praying for them? Yeah. Is it just me? I pray. And they turn on me. So why would the counterfeit not do the same? Why would the counterfeit not fight that much harder? Why would the counterfeit not put that much more witchcraft on? Why would the counterfeit not? Oh, I just figured that out. I was today years old when I figured that out. So if that happens, and I thank God for the ministers that the Lord puts in my life, because sometimes my family members be coming against me and I'm praying for them and I'm praying hard prayers for them. And then I'll be like, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to lead this person where they at. And then the Lord will have a video pop up from my bishop's wife, or a video will pop up from one of the ministers I've been following for the past 10 years almost. And she be like, keep praying for them. I know it looks like things got worse. I know it looks like you praying for them harder, and the more that you pray for them, the more that keep praying for those family members. Because you know what happens when you pray for the counterfeit? It drops hot coals on their head. And I don't need you to start fantasizing about hot coals falling on this person's head. Stop it. Stop it. I need you to come to the understanding that in you trying to do this, it makes the enemy that is within them even more angry, envious, jealous, and obsessed, because of the fact that you're not only praying for your individual, you're praying for them too. So now they even more angry. So I just wanted to bring you that revelation. Does that mean that it's going to make much difference for them if they choose not to come into agreement with the transition? If they choose not to come to God and allow God to heal them so that they can get their ordained spouse. If they keep choosing not to, then God's going to do what he's going to do. But in some cases, your prayers actually are changing the situation. In some cases, there may have been one counterfeit or two counterfeits or three counterfeits, whatever the amount of counterfeits. Maybe you didn't get that main one that just refuses. But maybe the other two said, you know what? I'm going to stop doing this witchcraft. You know what? I'm going to dig up that graveyard ritual that I was putting up against them because the Lord did soften my heart. You know what? I'm going to stop trying to put their brain in a coconut. I'm going to stop. You got two people delivered to Christ, and that third one is just angry. But guess what? You got the other two, which makes three people came to Christ. Your spouse and the other two counterfeits. There was a third that's just living by Satan. They're going to get what they're going to get. But at least you tried. At least you tried. So I hope you did pray for the counterfeit. I can remember them days that I was sitting on this floor. And you know what? I'm going to be real honest with you. You know why I prayed for her? Because I knew that though I was not in a relationship with this individual, my spouse was. I need you to think about it like that. You may not have been in that relationship with that person. And this person may have been throwing all kinds of witchcraft at you. But you know what? I got down on the floor and I prayed for that person just like I prayed for him too. I may not have prayed as often as I prayed for him, but I did put her up in my prayers. And it may have made impact. It may have softened their heart. And you know why I did that? Because I think about how it would hurt him. Yes, this person was crazy. Yes, this person is this. But what if? Just what if for a moment, thought of them coming to realize that your heart posture was so good that you would even pray for somebody that's throwing darts at you all the time. Because they ain't like you. Because you were praying for them. Not just for him, but for them too. That he would see your heart in that too. And that would make him love you even more. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that they be coming against you in relation to is just making that man love you more. Because I was thinking, and I would think that, especially them nights when I would be in prayer on my floor for this man. I'm thinking about the people that may have hurt him, whether it be family, whether it be exes, whether it be best friends, that I pray for them because I think through his eyes what it's going to look like when he see those people get whatever it is that God's going to give them. Is it going to hurt him? Or did these people hurt him that bad that his heart went numb? Because remember, if God's in there, God didn't make the heart numb. God makes your heart full of flesh. You make your own heart numb out of pride and vanity because you don't want to deal with your own pain. But when God gets in there and starts dealing with that heart and digging up that pain, I remember the times that I was dealing with that stuff during my season. A lot of people don't want to allow God to deal with that. A lot of people don't want to go into those seasons where God's going to pull that yuck out of there. A lot of people don't want to be reminded of the stuff that may have happened when they were younger. Stuff that may have happened when they were a child. Stuff that they blotted out of their own memory. And the same goes for these counterfeits. Because that's one of the reasons why the counterfeits don't even want to go to God in the first place. Because they know that God's going to pull that stuff up out of them and start making them come face to face with the trauma that they had to deal with. And they're like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. So they would rather go through witchcraft instead because they're like, I'm not facing that. I refuse. It's the truth. But because you were the one that were willing to intercede on their behalf, I just wanted to bring you the revelation that I was yesterday years old when I figured out the reason that these women or these individuals will come against you so hard is, and I'm hoping that you are, praying for them too. Because you're praying for them too. Because you're praying for the salvation of them too. But some of us actually do that. Yeah, we get mad. Yeah, we be wanting like, God, why ain't you dealt with them? But before I will ever pray anything out of anger, I will pray, please let them repent. Please let them relent. Please let them renounce. Please let them denounce. Please, Lord, why can't you just cut off those demons that are on them first? Please, Lord, can't you do that? Now, if their heart is that demonically taken over to the soulic level, and if you separate them from their demons that they just gonna drop dead, then I didn't do that. All I did was I asked for them to be taken on a road to Damascus so that you wouldn't have to. Lord, why can't you show them what you're gonna do to them if they don't stop? So that maybe they might get an epiphany. But some of these people, yeah, I literally heard one of the ministers I follow literally say, some of them, they're just not going to stop. They are that crazed out the head. They have been given over completely to their reprobate mind. And what's going to come out of this is, because they ain't going to stop. But I wanted to bring you that revelation because of the fact that if you have been praying for them, maybe that's why they fight you so hard. Maybe that's why they delay you so hard. Because their heart can't get nowhere near that. Oh, they praying for you, all right. Preying you. But you're actually praying for them. And because of that, they hate you. So I wanted to say that, and that was my whole spiel. Do I have another word, Lord? If there is anything else, it'll come in another word. But until next time.